My God, I hate drugs.
It's the eve of the effectivity of the Philippine government's withdrawal from the International Criminal Court. But what is really at stake here? What happens to the ongoing examination into suspected extrajudicial killings under President Duterte's war on drugs? Our justice correspondent, Anjo Alimario, explains to us in this report.
It took more than a decade before the Philippines became a member of the International Criminal Court. But it would just take a sole decision by President Duterte to pull the country out. It was on April 24, 2017 when lawyer Jude Sabio went to the International Criminal Court to file a communication to look into the president's drug war. In the same document, he called President Duterte a mass murderer. Months after, ICC prosecutor Fatou Bensouda issued a statement stating her deep concern about alleged killings in the Philippines. The following year, Bensouda's office formally launched a preliminary examination into the alleged crimes.
It has been alleged that since July 2016, thousands of persons have been killed for reasons related to their alleged involvement in illegal drug use or dealing. While some of such killings have reportedly occurred in the context of clashes between and within gangs, it is alleged that many of the reported incidents involved extrajudicial killings in the course of police anti-drug operations.
At first, Malacanang said President Duterte is open to the examination.
The President and I met about this extensively for more than 2 hours last night. The President has said that he also welcomes this preliminary examination because he's sick and tired of being accused of the commission of crimes against humanity.
But there was a complete turnaround the following month when the President shocked everyone by announcing that the country will be withdrawing from the International Criminal Court effective immediately. On March 17, 2018, the Philippine government formally notified the United Nations Secretary General of the country's withdrawal from the Rome Statute. In her December 2018 report, the Office of the Prosecutor said the preliminary examination is still on, with a reminder that it will proceed even with the country's removal from the International Tribunal. Petitions were filed at the Supreme Court to stop it from happening. But up to the last en banc session, there was no action. The justices did not even tackle the case. During the oral argument, Senior Associate Justice Antonio Carpio warned the government that it will be giving up a strong legal deterrent provided under the Rome Statute.
We cannot bring President Xi Jinping to the ICC if he invades Pag-asa or builds a military base on Scarborough Shoal. We will lose that defense. We will have no deterrent legally. Because there is no other tribunal that can decide on territorial disputes unless both parties voluntarily submit to arbitration. But this one, it's a crime against the world. It's a crime against mankind, a war of aggression.
Fast forward to 2019, the withdrawal takes effect. President Duterte said he's ready to face a death sentence from the International Court.
For the things that I have said, ordered, and done, I am willing to put my neck dito sa mga bagay na to. Eh, baka balang araw, itong ICC na itong bugok na to, if they decide to hang me, I would be very glad to go. And ako pa ang maglagay sa, anong tawag nito? Just to...
But his spokesperson insists the government will not cooperate with the International Criminal Court if it pushes through with the investigation.
They cannot do anything against us.
So the government will not cooperate in any investigation?
Wala kang jurisdiction. Bakit ka naman magko-cooperate kung walang jurisdiction? We're not bound by the rules.
Article 127 of the Rome Statute also explicitly states a country's withdrawal will not affect any cooperation with the court in connection with criminal investigations and proceedings. Those who oppose the country's withdrawal fear that those who kill with impunity will only be further emboldened, and Filipinos will be deprived of the chance to bring a case to the International Criminal Court.
4 people were arrested after the Philippine Marines intercepted a motorized bangka carrying ammonium nitrate in Basilan. Authorities say the bangka was loaded with 37 sacks of ammonium nitrate, believed to be used as an ingredient for explosives. The bangka was apprehended on Thursday off of Semisal Island. The suspects are under police custody. Authorities continue the investigation into the brutal slay of Christine Silawan, a 16-year-old student in Cebu. The Davao City Police apprehended in Matina, Davao City, a suspect with a similar case to Christine's, identified as Jonas Bueno. He is now under the custody of the NBI Region 11. Bueno is a suspect in the killing of a farmer in January who was also skinned. While the Cebu Police denied identifying a suspect in Christine's murder, PNP spokesman Eduardo Banac said Bueno is a possible suspect in the grisly killing of the teenager. President Duterte ordered the release of 150 days' worth of water from Angat Dam in Bulacan. This is to help solve the water crisis in Metro Manila. But authorities and utility firms say this is easier said than done and point out that short-term solutions are already in place. Our senior correspondent, David Santos, has more.
President Duterte directing the MWSS, Maynilad and Manila Water to release water supply from the Angat Dam, enough to augment areas in Metro Manila affected by the shortage for the next 5 months. The President wants the order implemented or else he will personally hold officers of these agencies accountable.
Actually, pikon na rin siya, no? But I think the recommendation that were given to him are not the right recommendation.
Apparently, the President is misinformed. MWSS Administrator Ray Velasco has reached out to Malacanang to explain the problem. Velasco says it stems from the failure of Manila Water to operate its water treatment plant in Cardona, Rizal by December last year, which should have augmented water supply for its consumers.
Unfortunately, nagkaroon ng problema. So, in the meantime, nawala yun, anong ginagamit nila? Lamesa Dam. So, ngayon na kailangan nilang lamesa Dam, naubos na.
Velasco says the President's order is impossible to do for now.
We have actually released all the water already that can be accommodated sa Lamesa Dam. And that's about 4,000 milliliters per day. So that is not the solution. Ang solution itong ginagawa natin ngayon.
Among these solutions for the 2 utility firms to share supply. On Friday, Maynilad opened one of its water valves in Quezon City to begin distributing its supply to Manila Water.
Nagkataon lang po na meron pong kaunting surplus si Maynilad, kaya ito po yung itutulong namin doon sa Manila Water.
Kasama po yun sa concession agreement na mag-sharing ng water in cases of emergency.
Maynilad is initially allocating 50 million liters per day to Manila Water in a bid to help ease the supply gap.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Maynilad.
Another short-term solution, cut supply in areas where there is normal water quantity and redirect it to areas with no water at all.
Dino-lower po namin yung pressure para po ma-extend po natin yung supply sa mas maraming nakukover na area. At kailangan magsakripisyo po ng konti yung iba para makinabang po yung iba.
There are also calls for government to be more lenient in allowing the use of deep wells.
Although this is not allowed by law right now, but because since there is a crisis, we should have a liberal interpretation of the law right now.
Pressure is mounting on Manila Water to find more ways to deliver water to its growing number of affected consumers. Its Cardona plant has begun partial operations, but it can only initially provide supply to Rizal Province. Despite some of its quick fix, it remains unclear when the public can get a relief from the water shortage.
The timeline should be you ask Manila Water. As far as we are concerned, we have given them what they need. Ang problema ngayon, paano gawin yan? Kasi distribution, operation is theirs.
This area in West Avenue, Quezon City is just one of 5 initial locations where the water valves of Manila Water and Maynilad are interconnected. It was opened Friday, so Maynilad can start sharing its supply with Manila Water. But this arrangement, which they call cross-border flow supply, may take some time before it could reach consumers. The water supply passing through the pipelines in this area has to be subjected to testing since these valves have remained closed for quite some time. David Santos, CNN Philippines.
Presidential spokesperson Sal Panelo says it's possible that the water shortage and supply interruptions may be artificial. He hits back at the MWSS for saying it is impossible to heed the president's order to release water from Angat Dam. He adds inefficiency and mismanagement may be to blame for the water crisis, pointing out that the other concessionaire, Maynilad, is not facing the same problems as Manila Water, even if both get their supply from Angat Dam.
There's no such thing as an impossibility, which they should have done it in the first place many months ago. Tell him there is a will, there is a way. To our mind, the shortfall or the short water is artificial. The source is Angat Dam, and it's full. There's no shortage there.
Okay.
And if there are two concessionaires and one of them has no problem with the water, then I cannot understand why they should be having problems.
Parts of Mandaluyong and Pasig continue to suffer from little to no water. This despite a revised water interruption schedule from Manila Water. Our Chrissy de Matulak tells us how households and business owners are coping with the water crisis.
For more than 2 weeks now, Gloria Bundal, who owns an eatery in Barangay Bagong Ilog, Pasig City, has been getting her water rations from fire trucks and tankers of Manila Water. It was only today that tap water became available in her household, but water supply reached only the first level of her 2-story home. Gloria says the 15 people, including boarders who live in her home, have been burdened by the water shortage.
At the same time, meron akong boarders. Hindi sila naliligo. Pumapasok sila, walang ligo-ligo.
Meantime, Mercy Dumalog, who lives in Barangay Pineda, Pasig City, is also facing the same dilemma as Gloria. She also runs an eatery, and she says her household only received water this morning after a week without supply.
Super hirap po. Kasi kailangan mong magtipid, maghuhugas ka. Kailangan yung pinaghugasan mo, ipunin mo para may paglaba mo ng basahan. Sobrang hirap.
On March 14, Manila Water announced a revised water interruption scheme with a more definite schedule. According to Manila Water spokesperson Jeric Sevilla, the daily rotational supply will allow Manila's 27 reservoirs to be refilled in order to provide water especially to households that have been without supply for a week. The water interruptions are expected daily until May or until the rainy season sets in. Chrissy de Matulak, CNN Philippines.